Odo's complete Star Trek. DS9 Timeline explained. Few Star Trek characters embody the franchise's ongoing struggle between identity, morality, and belonging quite like Odo. As Deep Space Nine's shape-shifting security chief, Odo's journey from a mysterious outsider to one of the station's emotional anchors is a defining arc of the series. His story intertwines with some of Star Trek's greatest moral questions: what it means to be solid, where loyalty lies when one's people are on the other side, and whether love can bridge even the widest gulf between species. Here's Odo's complete Star Trek. Deep Space Nine Timeline explained. From his mysterious origins to his poignant farewell, the origins of a shapeshifter. Before Odo ever donned a Byron security uniform, he was simply known as Sample 8, discovered in the Denorios belt by Byron scientists years before DS9 begins. Odo was an unformed, gelatinous life form kept in a lab for study. Chief among his researchers was Dr. Morapal, a scientist whose mixture of paternal affection and clinical detachment left deep marks on Odo's psyche. It was Dr. Mora who gave Odo his name, derived from the Cardassian term Odoodle, meaning nothing. It was meant as a designation, but for Odo, it became both a wound and a badge of defiance. Through painstaking mimicry and study, he learned to assume humanoid forms, eventually settling on the unfinished, waxy-faced appearance that would become his signature look. During the Cardassian occupation of Bajor, Odo was used by the Cardassians as a sort of impartial investigator. He quickly proved his integrity by refusing to serve as a simple enforcer, showing the strong moral compass that would later define him. Though he worked under the Cardassians, Odo's sense of justice always came from within, a balance between order and compassion that made him unique among Star Trek's officers. Becoming Deep Space Nine's lawkeeper, when the Cardassians withdrew from Bajor, the Federation Byron Alliance took control of Terok Nor, renaming it Deep Space Nine. Odo stayed on as the station's chief of security under Commander Benjamin Sisko. From the pilot episode, Emissary, Odo was established as a man, or rather, a changeling apart. He distrusted the Federation's idealism almost as much as he loathed bureaucracy, yet his loyalty to the people of the station, especially Major Kira Nerys, was unshakable. He enforced the law with an iron will, often clashing with Quark, DS9's Ferengi Bar owner, in a rivalry that evolved into a surprisingly warm friendship over 7 seasons. Odo's early years on the station were marked by curiosity about his origins and frustration over his inability to fully belong. He was not Byron, not Federation, not Cardassian, and not yet connected to his own people. All he had was his moral code and his growing affection for Kira, the Founders, and the Great Link. Everything changed in Season 3 when Odo discovered the truth about his people. He was one of the Founders, the shape-shifting leaders of the Dominion. The revelation that his species ruled an empire that saw solids as dangerous was both a triumph and a torment. He finally knew where he came from, but it meant he was related to those who threatened everything he'd sworn to protect. When Odo met the female changeling in The Search, he was offered a place in the Great Link, a collective consciousness that united his people in a fluid sea of thought and emotion. Yet, Odo's individuality, his need for justice, and connection to solids kept him from staying. His choice to return to DS9 marked the beginning of his lifelong conflict between his longing to belong and his refusal to surrender his moral autonomy. Love and loyalty tested. Odo's arc deepened through his relationship with Major Kira. For years, his love for her was a quiet undercurrent, expressed through glances and small acts of protection. It wasn't until Season 6's His Way that their romance finally blossomed, thanks to a little help from holographic crooner Vic Fontaine. But even love couldn't shield Odo from tragedy. During the Dominion War, he contracted a morphogenic disease engineered by Section 31 to eliminate the Founders. His deteriorating health mirrored the moral decay spreading across the galaxy. When Odo finally learned that his cure lay in rejoining the Great Link, it forced him to confront the very destiny he'd resisted. His relationship with Kira became a bittersweet mirror of DS9's larger themes, that duty and love often pull in opposite directions, and that peace sometimes